So in this image we have only two colors, and we're going to work on each color individually and isolate them from one another whilst color proofing. We'll do this using the Selective Color tool. As a first step, let's hit Ctrl A to select this image, Ctrl C to copy it, and then Ctrl N, which will open up a new working document. Once we've done that, we can hit Ctrl V to paste our selection into the document, and now we can go to the Windows Arrange and the 2 up so we can view these images side by side. Once I've got that placement organized, I'm going to now go and hit Ctrl Y to see what the conversion from the RGB color space to the Stratasys CMYK profile does for our image. So this is going to simulate how the colors will appear once printed, and we can now attempt to adjust this proofed image so that the critical colors better match those originally selected. So we can go to the image adjustments and selective color. We'll hit Ctrl D to deselect the previous selection that we had. We'll select the blues and we'll start working with the blues. Now my blue is darker, and a big cause of the darker blue is going to be elevated magenta and black levels, so we're going to try and altering them, those levels fractionally. Take a look at adjusting the yellow as well. That's not making too much of a difference. And if I want to make sure, once I've got these selected, that my changes are good or in the right direction, I can click this preview checkbox to see the image that I started off with, and now the one that I've got, that at least from the blues, is a bit closer to the original. I'm going to cancel that, and let's look at another tool. So this is the Hue Brightness Saturation tool, which can be accessed by Ctrl and U, all through the image and adjustments from the toolbar. So here, if I'm adjusting the hue and the saturation and the lightness, I can also again get closer to the color, and again using the preview tool to see my before and after. Really, either tool works well, and you can adjust to see whichever one is going to produce the best results for you. So now, if we're happy with the blues, let's start working on the greens. Again, I can go now to my image and adjustments and the selective color tool, and now let's select the greens here, and let's see what happens when I start working on the greens. I can see that my original image green is a bit more yellow and lively, so let's go again and reduce the magenta, add a bit of yellow, and play around with the cyan a bit too. And again, we can use the preview icon to see the before and after. Now, I think this is also adjusting my blues there, which I don't want to touch at the moment. So what I'm going to do is we're going to use the Magic Wand tool to select the greens. I'm going to hit Ctrl H to hide the boundaries, and I can invert that selection by doing Ctrl Shift I, and now any adjustments that I make will only be applied to those greens. So again, let's go back to the selective color tool, and let's try making some adjustments here from the green selection. So lowering a bit the cyan, dial down the magenta, and crank up the yellow to make the greens more bright and less black. Okay, we can use the preview to see these changes, the before and the after. So if you compare between the two greens, you can see that without the adjustments applied, the green is more greenish, more dull, there's more cyan to it, but with the correction it looks brighter and more vivid. Of course, everything here is subject to the eye of the beholder. Let's click OK, and that's it